Yo, what's going on, you guys, and welcome back to the Anime Plus podcast. This is your podcast for everything anime and anime related. And today's episode, we're going to be talking about the One Piece Day with the Red Sox, me, my boy Aunn, and my brother, my boy Meezy, who is actually joining us on this podcast, are going to be talking about it. We had a bunch of people actually pop out to this event with us, so it was a good time. But again, we're going to be talking about that in this episode. But if this is your first time here, I'm your boy Aray, and I'm with my co-host Aunn. Aunn, bro, how you doing?
Doing good, bro. Doing good. On the drive back from Boston, um, that shit was amazing yesterday. But definitely want to get deep into it, bro.
Yes, sir. All right, so we're bringing back a fan favorite of the podcast, my brother, my blood right here, Meezy, bro. How you doing, bro?
What up? What up, man? Stack back on the podcast with Smoke, man.
Sir,
Hell yeah.
It felt good to be back, man. How you guys doing, man?
chilling, bro, chilling.
Good. A1 from day one.
Yes, sir. All right, bro. I think that we should start off with like just the overall vibe. So, firstly, Meezy popped out from far away. I don't know if you want me to drop where you at,
You
but
got to keep the location. I came from Skype or something. I don't know.
Boy came from Skype.
Came from
yeah,
Egghead Island.
for real, bro. And then obviously Owen came from New York, so they came out for the day. We had our one.
New York, aka Punk Hazard. My bad, sorry.
Yes, sir. All right, so we popped out to the event. Loki, bro, the first thing that we noticed, bro, was everybody was wearing the Straw Hat Crew exclusive jersey that came with the VIP tickets for popping out to the game. It was literally everybody, bro. I was stressed that we weren't gonna get our jerseys too.
Bro, literally, I would say 70% or like 80% of people that were at the place, especially in the beginning, were
Mhm.
all wearing straw hat gear.
Yeah.
So because of that, we thought we might have just came a bit late and we might not get ours. But thank God, they had more than enough. We all got ours. And I just want to touch upon the design a little bit. Bro, that shit was sick. You have the front had we'll post a pic on Instagram and we'll throw it on Discord too. But basically the front was all red. It had the Red Sox logo. On the left sleeve we had the One Piece logo itself, and then on the back there was the Jolly Roger. Plus we had the Straw Hat Crew. It said Straw
Nice.
Hat Crew. So I mean it was sick. I don't really watch baseball. That was my first baseball game I've ever been to, and I'm not gonna lie, not the biggest baseball fan even after that. But I will say, definitely well worth it because of that One Piece collab.
For real, bro. So after we pulled up into inside the event, firstly we saw that giant inflatable Luffy doing gear second pose, bro. Yo, real talk, yo, easy, bro. That shit was sick, right?
Yo, I'm not gonna lie to you. The second I walked in, I saw a big ass like inflatable Luffy, right? And honestly, that was the only reason I came. Like, I think majority of the people there, and I know for a fact that nobody there with like the One Piece actually cared about the baseball. People came just to see that. So it was just sick seeing like a big Luffy like in a sports stadium. Cause like I think just with like how social construct is, like you don't see a lot of mix between like pop culture and like sports and stuff with anime. So seeing the crossover, especially in my city, I think it was crazy. Like it was sick seeing it and just see people, even just talking to people, ask them why you came. They only came for the One Piece, which was sick.
Nah, for sure, bro. Like we talked to a couple of random people that were there. Some people said they came from Canada. Some dude said he came from where's that dude that looked like Melo? Where did he say he came from?
Yo, people came from all over. I forgot what he came from Springfield, so like further like
Okay.
West Massachusetts or something. But he came far, man. Like people were outside, like for real.
Yeah, and not just that. People were like it was like all different types of people. Like you had obviously the diehard One Piece fans, and then you had the diehard Red Sox fans. So the Red Sox have like an alternate jerseys. Their main colors are obviously like red, white, and red, but they have the alternate ones, the Boston Strong ones, which are yellow. Obviously the diehard fans were wearing that. So you can see like all different types of people, but I would still say like 50%, if not more, of the people there had One Piece jerseys on. And if they didn't and they were One Piece fans, they had cosplays on. So we saw, what do we see, Owen?
So we saw a couple Frankies. I
Hmm.
saw one Usopp that looked sick. Couple Luffys that actually had the freaking X tattoo on
X
them.
on this. Yeah.
Yeah, they had like the X cut, the scar. They had that. The kid sitting next to me was in a full Zoro costume.
Yo,
Yeah.
that was crazy. And his boy was in a full something else, right? What was he wearing?
Luffy, Luffy.
Full Luffy
Luffy. Yeah. I was about to start stealing jerseys and start saying, yo, I'm Nami.
Bro, it was funny because the kid next to me, the Zoro, he was literally sleeping the whole time.
Yeah,
Bro,
dang well, like nobody even cared about the game. They just came for the anime.
yeah, part of it was our section was specifically for the VIP tickets for the One Piece Day stuff. So,
Oh yeah?
yeah, most of our section were One Piece fans. But I know you guys actually explored. Like you guys went down to the top of the Green Monster, which is that giant green wall at the Fenway
Yeah.
Park. So, tell me about that. Like you guys saw One Piece fans up there too, or was it?
Yo, number one, it was mad funny because every time we saw a police officer, we kept yelling "Marine, Marine," right? That was the first thing. But the second thing was just like, just even just chilling with people. Like you see like a Frankie, you'd be like, "Yo, bro, like you wearing Frankie," and he'll literally do like the super pose, bro. Like it was crazy. It felt like I went to Comic Con. You know what I mean? It didn't even feel like I went to a baseball game. But I remember there was one time when we were like finessing seats and we were just trying to get a good view of the field. And we asked these people to take pictures. And it's the most like stereotypical, like when you think of a Boston girl, it's the most stereotypical Boston girl, right? She was like, "Hey, what is Straw Hat Crew? What does that mean?" And just the fact that we could tell her, "Oh yeah, this is like One Piece, and like you'll go watch this on Netflix. They have a live action or whatever." I think that was just it was a cool experience just seeing like a good mix of people. It was definitely different, than what you're typically used to seeing, especially at sporting games, and especially in Boston, because I'm not sure if anybody that's listening is familiar, but Boston is known as title town because of all of our sports teams. So seeing like diehard sports fans just being introduced to anime in that way was sick.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, some people weren't even wearing the One Piece stuff, and they knew about One Piece. Like we got our pictures taken with these two random dudes, and one like they were just wearing regular Red Sox stuff, and they had like some of the like not the luxury seats, but some of the higher tiered seats, and they were just again wearing the regular One Piece the regular Red Sox stuff. And then they asked us like, "Yo, who's Zoro out of you guys? Who's Luffy out of you guys?" I'm like, "Yo,
Oh
I was
yeah.
expecting that."
Uh,
Yeah, because I just want to touch up upon what Meezy said about it being like Comic Con. The fact that like me, Meezy, I mean, I know Aray, he watches, he's heavily into sports and whatnot. So many people were there just for the anime.
yeah.
Like, it was great to see, like people get introduced to One Piece itself, and it just goes to show like before and I was talking to this to somebody on the field. We were talking about how anime was something that was like, and me and Aray, we touch upon this all the time. It was something that wasn't cool back in the day, right? If you were in high school or you were in middle school, you would never tell anybody that you were watching anime or One Piece or anything like that. You would honestly keep it to yourself. But now we're getting to the point where like 50 to 80% of the people at that event were literally only there for One Piece, which is great to see.
And, and mind you, Fenway Park is one of the most famous baseball fields. Like I would say after the Yankees, like Yankee Stadium, Fenway Park is probably one of the most like well-known like baseball stadiums. So to see that in a very well-known area was sick. I know they did the Lakers, which is huge for basketball, but it's kind of equivalent to doing it in the baseball realm. So,
Yeah, yeah, I know. They just had one with the Seattle Mariners, I think 2 weeks ago at this point.
oh
But
yeah,
yeah, this is the second one with the Red Sox. The first one was,
did they have merch over there at the Seattle one?
they had like crossover shirts.
Oh, what did they have jerseys or just shirts?
I don't think they were jerseys. I saw a couple of pictures online. They were like, it was like Mariners shirts, but I don't know. They might have had jerseys too. I just didn't see it.
Yo,
So
let me ask you guys a question. I know like you guys are like the host, so you guys ask questions. But let me ask you guys a question. I know Owen already uh talked about it a little bit, but what are your thoughts on the jerseys? Because I feel like I have a different take. I have a hot take on the jerseys, but I want to know what you guys think.
I like, are you talking about like in terms of like how they look with the collab?
How they looked, and then the apparel as well as the hat. Like, I want to know what you guys think, and I'll tell you my take after.
Oh, and you take this one first.
So I mean, I loved it. Like, so I don't have really any One Piece gear when it comes to like sports clothing. So this is my first like ever, you know, sports apparel. I mean, I don't even have sports apparel to begin with. So this is my first ever sports apparel in general. So I mean, I love it. I love the design. Um, one thing I could say is they could have done a bit more with the sleeve itself. Like just having the logo there, it's whatever, right? Like we already know, like it's a One Piece thing, especially from the back. I think the back was perfect. I think the back um was perfect in terms of like having just the just the Jolly Roger there. The sleeve could have had work done, and I think the front was good. But other than that, I love it because I never ever owned any sports in general. So that I will touch upon the hat. The hat was sick. I don't think there was anything wrong with the hat, in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. So I think Ari, what's your thoughts?
honestly, bro, I don't think there was anything wrong with it. I thought it was exactly what we look forward to when we try to get like a One Piece or and a sports collab thing. Honestly, though, I didn't love the yellow on it, but those are the One Piece colors, so I didn't really hate it. I would love to see more blue on it instead of yellow, but I can't complain because I've seen some of the other collabs that the Red Sox have done, and I feel like those jerseys, some of them are sick, some of them really aren't. So I feel like this was still on the upper echelon, like while ranking those versus the One Piece ones.
Mm. I mean, yeah, I agree with you. I do think it. I tell you what, I think it was decent. Like, I feel like they could do a better job, right? I mean, and I'm being very hypercritical because I feel like to most people, nobody really cares about fashion. But as somebody that enjoys, like fashion and stuff or whatever, I feel like they could have put more effort up in terms of making it a quote unquote collab. Because, for example, like they had baseball hats, right? What is
Mhm.
the one thing that One Piece is known for? Is their hats, right? The straw hat Luffy. You got Ace's hat. You got like every character got like some sort of hat. It's almost like I don't know. It's like a power up, right? Like if somebody got a hat in One Piece, they better have like some crazy power up or hockey or devil fruit. Like somebody's not an NPC by that hat, right? So like baseball itself, the culture of baseball, every player wears a hat. So my take is like if they're gonna give out hats, so for context, what their hat was it was just a Jolly Roger and the Boston Red Sox logo. I think they could have done something sick where they could have designed the hat to look like a straw hat. You know what I mean?
So I'll
Like
actually counter
let's say
that. Go ahead, go ahead.
so I feel like they could have like made the color or like made it look like a straw hat. So it would be sick because if you look at the jersey is red. So like how like Luffy wears like a red shirt and like imagine the hat was like a straw. I feel like that would be so sick. That was my thoughts on the hat. And I have opinion on the shirt, but I want to hear what you want to say.
Yeah, so I'll counter that real quick. Just because of the sheer volume of the amount of people that got the hat and the jersey, you can't really expect them to go all out on creating like a different type of hat style. Just because like they have to mass produce like probably like
Yeah.
tens of thousands. It could have honestly been like I don't know how many people go to the Red Sox game, but like let's just assume like half the people had hats, bro. Bro, it's too much to mass produce something that's completely different, and it's a lot easier just to embroider like the One Piece logo and whatever. You know what I mean? That's my only counter take to it, but I would love to see that in the future because this is the second collab. The first collab they did bobbleheads, and then this year they did a jersey and a hat. So I feel like
Uh,
this was definitely a success, and they can definitely step it up next year because this was announced only maybe 2 months ago. Like they'd probably do a third one, I honestly, and I feel like they could do a lot more effort that one.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I definitely agree with you because I think like obviously, mass producing or whatever is definitely difficult. But if that was a critique I would have, it's like we gotta make the hat like put some more swag to it. You know what I mean? I feel like that. Like if I had a straw hat snapback, bro, Oh my god, bro! I'm wearing that every single day, bro. Like I swear to God, I'm walking outside with a straw hat, and when people ask me where I got it, I'm gatekeeping. You know what I mean? Like, what? I agree with that. And then in terms of the jersey, I like the red. I think the red was fire. I think that was a good touch. It was a good idea, and it makes sense because you know the Red Sox and stuff. Their color is red. But I think like the back, you know how it says Straw Hat Crew?
Mhm.
I think that they could have just so it says Straw Hat at the top, and then it's the Jolly Roger, and then it says Crew at the bottom. I
Yeah.
feel like regular baseball jerseys, they just say the name and then it shows the logo. Like writing Crew at the bottom kind of throws me off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think they just want to represent that it was part of a team. I
Yeah.
guess Crew was their equivalent to that. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
But you know what I mean? Like I guess it's just me being very like nitpicky, you know, because I do like fashion, right? And I think that's something that would be sick. But honestly, I'm not even mad with the color of the jersey, just because like that's the color that Luffy wears, right? Like that is One Piece colors, you know?
Yeah. All right, so let's touch up on some other things real quick. All right, so firstly, bro, I don't think we did enough justice to like how big the line was to get the jersey, bro. Like that, it was massive, bro. Like it literally went all the way down and then it curled around. Luckily for us, we kind of slid in with some dude. You know, we complimented his shirt and slid in with him. And even then, the line was forever. And then it got to a point where Meezy started trolling, saying, "Yo, the jerseys are sold out. The jerseys are gone." That shit.
Because I was trying to make sure that we had enough.
I'm not gonna lie, we got the better end of the deal in terms of like the jersey is way better than that bobblehead, bro. What do you think?
Oh, for sure, bro.
Yeah, I rather have a jersey because it's something that you can wear, you can use versus something like that. I do know that the bobblehead has massive resale value on it. Not that we would plan to scalp
I
it.
would never resell my jersey,
Right,
bro.
right.
Literally, bro.
I will say that we came with a group of like 12 to 14 people. Some of my friends. And some of them aren't even One Piece fans, but they still came for the vibes. And one of our guys actually ended up selling his jersey. Again, not a One Piece fan, so I totally respect that. He just came for the vibes. To somebody that came from Canada, and the dude from Canada was saying, "Yo, I didn't get a jersey, bro. I came all the way from Canada." So he sold him the jersey. So I mean, I thought that was pretty cool because it's kind
Yeah,
of like giving a One Piece fan something that they want. I don't know. I thought that was cool, but yeah,
yeah. I mean, that's like one of those like memorabilia that's like, damn, like it's like so exclusive that like it only happened in Boston, right? Like this,
right.
in order to get like if you're walking around with that jersey and people ask you, yo, where you get it, you can't even tell them like where you could buy it from. It's just one of those like one of ones, you know?
Mhm. I wish we had the option to get more, bro, because like I would love to have one that I can wear and one on display, something like that.
You know it'd be sick if they had like different jerseys like designed for different like characters in the show. Like they had like a Zoro one, if they had like a Luffy one or whatever, that would be sick. I mean, obviously, it'd be a lot more work, right?
Yeah.
But
So I
that would
know for the Lakers club, they did that with t-shirts.
no way,
Yeah,
Jeez, bro, that would have been sick. Like a green Zoro hoodie, like a blue Frankie, a purple Robin.
right.
bro.
I
But
think this is one thing that they definitely missed on. They didn't have any One Piece collab like booths or concession stands or anything like that. They
yeah,
could have definitely made something, and it would have been a lot fun for all the people that came because a lot of people did come from Panda Fest, which was another thing that they had in Boston, and then they came directly here. So they're willing to spend money. They're willing to buy these collabs. Obviously, we talked about it before. The game was a second thought to a lot of people, but if they had something set up like that, I feel like that would have been a lot more successful and it would have been more fun that people would have been able to buy more stuff.
yeah.
Bro, if
But yeah,
they had a green Zoro jersey, I might have bought them shit.
Yeah. I would rather have that to be honest, even though the Red Sox are red.
forget Zoro. I'm about to get a Law jersey. Yo, they had Law. Yo, forget the straw hats. I'm about to be joining his crew.
Yo, speaking of which, bro, did you were you guys able to see, and I know I wasn't with you at the time, Luffy throw the first pitch?
We actually, so we were grabbing food at that time, right? We watched it on the TV while we were at the concession stand, which was mad funny because you know obviously it's like an inflatable character or whatever.
Yeah.
But it would have been sick if they had the live action dude throw it.
Bro, for real, we was talking about that. I had my wife, shout out to her. She was like Googling where Inaki Godoy, the actor behind the live action, where he was in the world. He was in South Korea, so we're like, ah shit, he's not coming out here to do the first pitch. And I was like,
Yeah.
what if Oda comes? Which obviously would not happen. But inflatable
Yeah,
Luffy,
I'm not gonna lie, 100% Oda was definitely there or something, bro. He better he better write something about about Boston, make it turn into an arc or something.
to be honest though, it would go ahead on.
No, no, I was just laughing because imagine Oda being there.
Bro, he could have easily snuck in, bro.
Yeah, we were cracking jokes because we were saying that Egghead Island is similar to Boston. Because for the people that's not familiar, Boston has Harvard, they have MIT, they have all the different colleges, Northeastern, Boston University, UMass. Like it's filled with colleges, right? And like there's a lot of new innovations that happen. I actually used to work as a chemical engineer in Boston. And like all of the stuff for COVID and like all the vaccines and everything started, it usually starts in Boston. So like we were comparing it to Egghead Island. We're like, yo, Oda is over here or something. You about to see what's his name? Dr. Vegapunk come out of nowhere.
Bro, Boston also has Boston Dynamics, right? That robotics company.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bro, that robotics company makes some crazy shit. Did you see? I don't know if you've ever seen the robotic dog that they have.
Bro,
That
that's crazy. A robot dog, bro. They about
Is
to
that
make
the
a
one that
robot
walks?
chopper next.
Oh, dude. They did have Chopper at the game too. I don't know if you
Oh
guys
yeah,
saw.
yeah, that was mad funny, bro. They had an inflatable chopper, bro.
I saw a couple of guys with like the chopper hat too.
Yeah,
Nah, nah, some of the people had me dying. Some dude had buggy cosplay. It
dude,
was
that
mad
was
funny,
crazy.
bro. Yeah, that was mad funny, bro. I be wanting to talk to them, but I be getting nervous, bro. I want to be like, yo, can I get a picture with you?
Bro, the
Right.
Bucky cosplay was top tier. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I
There was
don't. Huh?
I was gonna say there was another lady that did a an Ace cosplay, and they showed her
Oh,
on the jumbotron.
oh
Everyone,
yeah, yeah, yeah. That was mad funny, bro.
Yeah, but
The
overall, I think it was a great game itself. I mean,
don't lie, bro. Don't lie. Let's talk about the game real quick, all right?
Oh, okay. First of all, we have nothing to say about the game because nobody paid attention. First
no,
of
no,
all, okay. To be completely honest, I'm gonna expose the podcasters, but Owen was asking me about innings, so I know dang well he didn't watch any of the game.
Bro, I was watching it actually. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. So firstly, bro, I thought it was funny because the first few innings flew by, but our section again was mostly One Piece fans, and I could hear a couple people whispering, "Yo, what inning is it, or what's going on?" And I explained to my wife, like, "Yo, two innings are already done," and she's like, "What? Two innings are done? How many are there?" I was like, "There's nine." So we're like almost 30% done. And she's like, "What?" So that was
so
funny.
what I'll say is I've never watched a baseball game in my life. Never been to a baseball game in my life. Not the biggest baseball fan in general,
Hmm.
but I will say I got to see that home run. I got to
Yeah.
see the home run, so satisfied with that.
So
But the home run wasn't on our team.
yeah, so let me walk you guys through that real quick. So typically when the Red Sox, the home team, scores a home run, they do like a light show. That didn't happen in the game that we watched because our team didn't hit a home run.
Hit a home run, yeah.
They did hit a home run. So they don't really go too crazy, obviously when the other team scores. But there was a little bit of a smaller controversy what happened when they hit a home run. So a fan caught the ball and she threw the ball back into the field, which I thought you're supposed to do that if it's the other team. It's kind of like a FU to the other team. It turns out that that fan ended up getting kicked out of the Fenway Park for doing that. I don't know why, because I think you're supposed to do that. But yeah, that fan got kicked out, and everyone booed because the fan got kicked out. And I did some digging actually. It turns out that the player that hit that home run is the son of a former Red Sox legend. So I thought that was kind of crazy.
Oh,
Damn.
I thought you about to say son of Whitebeard or something. I was like, God dang, they about to get the whole Grand Fleet on us,
Oh, dude.
like a celestial dragon or something.
I would be pissed if I was that guy, bro. Imagine getting a home run ball, right? And then giving it back and then getting kicked out. Like what?
Yeah, that's funny, bro.
Bro,
Yeah,
I would be heated.
yeah, she got straight kicked out, and then after that, people are like, "Oh, that's a casual fan because she doesn't know that's Roger Clemens' son." Blah 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 blah. But yeah, if it's the other team, fuck it, bro. You gotta throw it back. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, yo, you know what would have been mad funny if it was somebody in like a cosplay costume like Buggy that threw it back. Like, how you gonna kick Buggy out the game?
Yeah, that would have been funny. Nah, it was a regular fan, but
Yeah,
one thing we need to touch upon is it was supposed to rain and thunder the whole day, and with baseball, if it thunders, typically they cancel the game, and then if it rains, sometimes they delay it, sometimes they let it go. In this particular instance, it was supposed to rain during the game. We got lucky because it kind of pushed back, and we left a bit early. And maybe 5, 10 minutes after we left the stadium, they delayed the game for a couple hours, like an hour and a half,
yeah.
and then they finished off the game. But I don't know, man. That was just kind of crazy luck on our end.
We got blessed, bro. As we left, everybody had to leave 20 minutes later. And
Yeah.
we left at the same time they all left. Bro, we would have been in that parking lot for like 30 minutes.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
to
Go
be
ahead.
to be completely fair, it was funny because I don't know if you guys remember when we were going up the elevator, every single person in the elevator was a One Piece fan. So like all the people that were leaving early were the
Yeah,
people that just came from One Piece.
yeah, for sure. But everyone knows that like leaving at the end of a game is terrible. Like I've been to so many
Yeah.
Celtics games where it's like the Celtics are up like 15. It's like, all right, you got to leave now because if you leave when the game ends, you're cooked. It's the
If the
same thing.
Celtics win another championship this year, Luffy better bring his ass to Boston again, bro, and play for the Celtics or something.
Yo, that's the perfect thing, bro. I wanted to ask you guys, what other collabs are you guys looking for? Like, it doesn't need to be One Piece. Like, we could do another Red Sox collab with a different anime, or what type of anime do you want to see with the Celtics?
You know what I really want to see? I know most people are thinking like basketball and like they're thinking about like football, like like mainstream sports. What
Mhm.
I want to see is I want to see college, like NCAA, like March Madness. Like for example, the UConn women's basketball team just won a championship, right? I want to see them try to do like an event during March Madness or something because I feel like that's a huge American thing. Like, and I mean it's only in America, right? Like NCAA, but I think that would be sick, especially for like anime, to do a collab with like colleges.
It would be, but I don't think that colleges are allowed to do that. Like, I think they have different
Oh
rules
yeah.
major sports.
Oh
Like, they have to
Nope.
have certain sponsors and that type of stuff. Like, they have completely different rules than major league sports. That's probably why you've never seen one with like a college team
that would be a sick concept to explore.
for sure.
100%. Because I feel like most people, obviously, that are going to the games are like college students. And those
Yeah, exactly.
here to towards watching anime and One Piece in general.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But if we're talking major league sports, is there any anime that you guys want to see with specific teams?
Definitely the Celtics, maybe because I'm biased.
Yeah.
I think
So
the
this,
Celtics. Yeah, Yankees would be a cool collab. I feel like Yankees. Or you know what would be sick? The Pittsburgh Pirates.
okay, that would go hard with this with the
That would go
Yankees.
that would go so hard. But I feel like there's a smaller market.
Yeah, they are a smaller market. So kind of just touching upon basketball real quick. My Hero had a collab with like 5 or 6 teams where they did like shirts. They didn't really do like something like this where like they had like Deku pop up and they did like a whole like My Hero music or something like that. It was more just like shirts. But they collabed with like 5 or 6 different teams. So I'm kind of hoping that we get more. Like, it'd be cool like an Attack on Titan one or anything, honestly, because like Red Sox, them personally, they've done like Harry Potter collabs. They've done like a bunch of different teams or different
So what's
shows.
what's the anime that's popping off the most? I mean, aside from One Piece, right? But what else is like popping off, like in terms of having new episodes?
It was solo leveling.
Yeah, but that's
Okay.
that's very like seasonal. You know what I mean? It's not
I
like
get. I guess as Demon Slayer is coming to an end for the anime, that would be good. Like
there
I
there
feel like
was a Demon Slayer collab with MLB not too long ago.
no way for real.
Yeah, but it was more like it was like an animation video that they showed, and it was cool. Like they did a whole starting lineup in anime form, and then they did like a cool little video. But it wasn't like this.
Yo, you know what would be sick? If they had both teams as opposite, like let's say it was um Straw Hat Crew and then the Laws Crew, the Heart Pirates, and then
Yeah.
they go verse each other, something like that.
That'd be sick, but that would never happen.
I know, but that would be
I would be biased though. I'm not gonna lie. That would be crazy. I promise you, there would be no real baseball fan in the stadium.
Nah, I don't think anime would ever take over sport to that point, but I think this is as close as we're gonna get.
But you know what? For a dying franchise, as somebody that's like struggling, this would be a perfect opportunity for them to like bring people
You're
like
talking about baseball, right?
yeah, like to do a collab. Like let's say there's a dying franchise. I don't know, like let's say Chicago Bulls or something, right? They're not the best. They didn't make the playoffs. Their tickets are probably super cheap. If they wanted to make more money to do a collab or something would be sick, especially in a big city like Chicago. I think Chicago would be good.
I think that would be sick.
And you know it'd be funny, Benny the Bull and Luffy together.
Bro, didn't Luffy like tame a bull in that Coliseum?
Dressrosa? Yo, that'd be funny.
Bro. Blue Lock would be sick. Like a sports anime collabing with
Oh yeah, that would be
sport,
good.
like
I know
all,
the
all the like let's say Barcelona, whatever, a team, right?
yeah.
Wears everyone wears a different jersey for a different character. That'd be sick.
So I will tell you right now that the Japanese national soccer team, they pulled up to, I don't know, so I'm not the biggest soccer fan, but the recent tournament, I don't know if it was the FIFA one or a different one, but they pulled up the Japanese national team in blue lock jerseys.
God,
No way.
how,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of scary, bro. If I was coming from like Spain or something, hell no, I'm running.
And I think they won like a really big game too,
I mean, I wonder why, bro. As soon as you pull up in blue light jersey, you know they on smoke.
but this was like 2 years ago too, so it was like blue lock was like on its first season.
Yeah, that's funny.
But yeah, overall, bro, how would you guys rate the day?
Uh, the baseball itself, I feel like was overshadowed by just the pure amount of like anime that was going on. So
Yeah.
like from a baseball standpoint, if I was just a Red Sox fan and I came just for that, I would say like 7 out of 10, just because it's cool to see something different. But I feel like as an anime fan, like 9 out of 10. And the reason I don't give it a 10 is just because maybe like we mentioned earlier, like if they had like different concession stands or like other things to do aside from like actually watching the game, I think that would be sick. Like I saw the Lakers, right? For example, they had a whole ad. Like I think it was during halftime or something. They played like an ad of like Luffy playing basketball or something. If they
Yeah.
if they made something like that for baseball, that would have been cool to see.
Yeah, I feel like baseball has always been known as a pastime sport versus something that like you're more actively into like basketball where you're like paying attention with every single play. There's a set amount of time, you know what I mean? Games get close. Where baseball has always been like for a majority of Americans, you pop out to the game, you get some food, you get some beer, you get snacks, whatever, talk
Yeah.
around you vibe. You know what I mean? It's always been like that. So I feel like this really works with like an anime collab. But if you're like and this is something that I always wonder. I should have talked to somebody that was like a diehard Red Sox fan. If you're just like a regular fan or like a diehard fan, and you see all these people that don't care about your sport, that don't care about the Red Sox at all, popping out, having a good time, like I wonder what their opinion is. Like I know I didn't see any One Piece fan get like overly rowdy or like crazy or anything like that, or
Yeah,
like
like I feel like
underneath.
everybody was pretty shy, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, but I just wonder like what what they thought of all the people that popped out because it felt like almost a 50-50 split if I had to guess.
I think the Red Sox were very strategic because they did it during like the right time of the season for them, right?
Yeah, this is very early. Only 30 games have been.
So I feel like if it's like early game, if it was like towards the end and like the games mattered a lot more, then
Mhm.
I think I would be like let's say I was a strict Red Sox fan,
Yeah.
I'd be like I'd be like I don't know, I'd be like uneasy because they do say like the thing about home court advantage is like the sixth man is like the crowd, So if the crowd's energy isn't into it for the game, then it's just like you kind of just throws you off.
Yeah, I will be honest. for the first Red Sox game I went to, there was so much more energy. More people were into it. You know, when a full count would happen, you know, everyone's clapping. This time around, I didn't really see as much. And it felt like we actually got more noise when they would show somebody on the Jumbotron wearing like a One Piece cosplay, or when they showed Luffy doing the first pitch or Chopper. I felt like there was more energy then. So
Yeah.
it's definitely like at a certain point, it's definitely a negative to the team to have like, I guess, quote unquote, a distraction for them. You know what I mean? But also
But
like I feel like it's
let me
kind of cool.
let me tell you, when we were sitting with you guys in the VIP section,
Yeah.
the energy was very, very, very dull, right?
Right, right.
But when we were sitting somewhere else and we were sitting at like the actual seats, and I'm sure Owen can agree to this, they were like they were chanting like "Let's go Red Sox, let's go." You know what I mean? Like they had like a lot more energy, which
Right,
is
right. So
completely different.
that's what I'm trying to say. Like instead of having the full audience, the full crowd doing it, you only have like half the amount of people doing it.
Yeah,
So I feel
yeah,
like it's in a way it's a negative to the team, but you know,
yeah.
I still think it's kind of cool that they were able to
But
get
but you know, like
numbers.
as an anime fan, who cares? I got my jersey. That's the only thing that mattered.
All right, yo, real talk. If they do a part three, bro, they run this back. Owen, bro, you popping out, bro? Meezy, you popping out?
It was,
Bro,
come on.
I'm looking out for the fucking One Piece gear for sure. For sure.
Asking me if I'm popping out is asking if honey tastes good. What you think, man? Come on now.
Yeah.
Like, bro,
Yeah, man. Come on, man. Is fire hot? Is ice cold? Come on, man. You know the answer to that.
that's what we like to hear, bro. All right,
Especially if they got merch.
I know, right? They need to have merch for us to pop back
I,
out.
I'm gatekeeping that merch. I wish I worked there so I could just steal some. Like, not me.
Bro, I'm gonna wear that. I'm gonna wear that to any sports event I go to, bro.
I I can't wait for people to ask me where did you get that, and then I'm gonna tell them the story of how I got it. I think that's gonna be the coolest thing.
For sure, easily. All right, do you guys have anything else to say before we close up this episode?
If there's another collab, definitely coming. If you guys in the Discord, wanna, we're gonna post. I'll post some pictures on the Discord. We'll post like a couple pictures of how the merch actually looks on the Instagram. And if you guys want to join us for the next event, just let us know wherever that may be. If we are going, we'll probably announce that we're going, um, like a month before we go. And then if anyone wants to kind of join and link up and come to these events with us, by all means, just let us know, and then we'll kind of figure something out.
Yes, sir. All right, Meezy, you got anything else to say? Any shout outs, anything that you want to do?
I want to say I appreciate you guys and shout out you guys for allowing me to come on this podcast. Um, it was a cool experience. You know, I definitely recommend like if they we got very lucky because we're from the Northeast, right? So coming to like Boston or New York or even Philly, like it's very convenient for us. You know, hopefully they do these events like around more different areas so that way everybody gets a chance to go because I think it was cool. You know, like I said, I'm not that big on baseball. I am a Boston fan, right? Diehard Boston fan. So it's sick. But just being able to see something like this, it was cool. You know, it's cool. And I definitely wish that everybody has a chance to go. So
Yes,
I
sir.
just hope to do it for basketball next.
Yeah,
exactly.
basketball, bro. I'm losing my shit, bro.
If they did Celtics, oh my God, I'm buying VIP tickets. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I would.
I'm gonna buy extra tickets just so I can get extra jerseys.
All right, I think that's gonna be it for this episode. Thank you again, Meezy, for popping onto the episode.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yes, sir. And again, we'll post all our pictures and stuff like that in the Discord. If you guys have any questions or you guys want to talk about it, maybe you guys were at the event too, and maybe we miss you guys. Definitely let us know in the Discord. Again, link is in the description. But with that being said, that's gonna be it for this episode, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode. Till then, you guys have a great week. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.